Let's talk about the NSA surveillance programs. I don't know if you've had a chance to go through this report that was released today by these recommendations for curbing, reforming some of the NSA surveillance programs. If you have, do you want to give us your immediate reaction to these recommendations?
You know, my reaction is that the judge the other day that said it was unconstitutional is exactly right. I think even the president's own team now is coming up with recommendations that acknowledge that the president has allowed this to get away from himself. He's allowed the NSA program to be intrusive, go against the Bill of Rights, go against the Fourth Amendment, and even his own team is now recommending that he needs to rein this in. I don't think they go far enough in the sense that I think the Fourth Amendment should protect your personal information and that you do have a right to privacy, whether the papers are in your house or whether they're kept at your bank. I think you do have a right to privacy, and we'll continue to fight this. Well,
when you say fight this, are you ready to file, as there have been these reports and you're familiar with them, a class action lawsuit against the NSA to stop it?
We have tens of thousands of people who have signed up for it. We're still exploring the legal aspect of whether we can file a class action suit. When you hear of class action suits, you hear of them mostly on liability. This would be a class action suit on a constitutional question, and it might be the first of its kind if we can file it. The problem is the courts sometimes say you have no standing, and the NSA will say, hey, prove we were spying on you, but we won't give you any information whether we were or weren't. So we're exploring it from all different ways. I've also introduced legislation that would give people an easier time having standing in court, and that if a phone company gets an order from the secret court, the FISA court, that they would be able to appeal this into a public court or the Supreme Court. There's a lot of venues where we're trying to reform. Bottom line is I don't think the NSA should be spying on Americans. I think they should be spying on terrorists.
You believe Edward Snowden, and arguably we're having this discussion right now because of his leaks, do you believe he broke the law or was a whistleblower?
Well, you know, that's a real question. If he were here, I think he would say he probably technically broke the law, but in favor of a higher law, which is the Constitution. Now we have a federal judge that's saying the information that he gave us was about an unconstitutional program. I think there have to be rules about leaks. I don't think you can give away national security secrets. But at the same time, I'm very offended that the intelligence director lied to Congress, which is perjury and punishable by time in jail. And the president has glibly gone on his way, has not asked for his resignation, has not said that he will try him in court for lying to Congress. I find that Clapper's lying to Congress is probably more injurious to our intelligence capabilities than anything Snowden did, because Clapper has damaged the credibility of the entire intelligence apparatus, and I'm not sure what to believe anymore when they come to Congress.
Well, let me just press you on that, Senator. You believe Clapper is more of a potential criminal when it comes to national security secrets than Snowden, who by all accounts, took about 1.7 million classified documents?
I think the law is the law, and they both broke the law, and that one shouldn't get off scot-free. And even Snowden, I think, really broke the law, and we can't have people revealing secrets. But at the same time, there is some question whether or not you can be a whistleblower in our society and whether you can release information that you think that the government is breaking the law. And that is the argument here, and now it's been upheld by a federal court saying that the government is breaking the law. And I do think what our government is doing is unconstitutional. And I really think that in order to restore confidence in our intelligence community, I think James Clapper should resign.
So just to be precise, if it were up to you, you'd have the Justice Department file charges, criminal charges against James Clapper?
Otherwise, you're just encouraging people to lie to us, and then we have no confidence now. If the intelligence community says, oh, we're not spying on Americans, well, and they are, and then they say we're not collecting any data, it's hard to have confidence in them. Now they're saying, oh, we capture terrorists with this data. Are we to believe them or not to believe them? If they are going to come to us and lie, it really damages the credibility, and it's damaged our credibility worldwide, but really with the American people, because we don't know what to believe. So I don't know how you can have someone in charge of our intelligence who has known to lie in a public forum to Congress. And to lie without repercussions, I really blame the president for not taking a better handle on things.
One final question before I let you go, Senator. On these U.S. drone strikes, there's now a report that a drone strike in Yemen Instead of killing Al-Qaeda terrorists, that was the suspected targets, wound up killing, this is according to government officials in Yemen, killing a wedding convoy, including 14 civilians who had nothing to do with Al-Qaeda. What's your position on these U.S. drone strikes?
Well, I think you do have to worry about the unintended consequences. You remember the very articulate little girl, Malayla, or a young woman now from Pakistan who was shot by the Taliban. When she had a chance to talk to the president, her first words were, "You're not helping America, you're hurting America's cause, because when innocent people die in Pakistan, there's more hatred for America." So I think drones are useful for killing our enemy in battle, but a lot of the drone strikes are going towards people who aren't currently involved in battle, and they're intermixed with their families, and occasionally we're making mistakes. So there's an upside and a downside, and I think right now the downside is creating such enmity in parts of Pakistan and other places around the world that they may be more deleterious than they are helpful.